My name is Harry. I'm 40 years old, and I thought I had it all. It was a bleak day last June as I was looking for a paper for my wife's income tax when I found some papers for a trip in Tahiti. It sounded wonderful. I didn't think we could afford anything so magnificent, but I knew Amy had been doing extra hours at work, so maybe her overtime was going to help pay for a trip. I was curious as I looked through the pages of the magnificent guide. And something fell out from between the pages. I picked them up. They were plane tickets. One had Amy's name on it, the other didn't. The other one, however, didn't display my name, and that's when my blood pressure skyrocketed. I was furious as I headed downstairs and found my wife in the kitchen. I waved the tickets in her face. "Why are you and Kevin going to Tahiti together? How can you be vacation planning with him? Are you leaving me and going back to him after he did that to you when you were married?"
Is it that big of a deal? The kids want Kevin and me to get together for a vacation. With Carrie graduating from college this year, it seemed like a good time to let bygones be bygones.
And you didn't think to talk to me about this? How could you think I'd just be okay with you going off with him to a beautiful, exotic place and not even telling me what the kids wanted? Were you just planning to tell me you were headed for a girls' trip with your daughters and not even mention that you were really overseas with your ex?
I knew you wouldn't be able to get the time off from work. I figured you wouldn't mind and that you'd be busy enough without caring. It isn't like I'm going on vacation with Kevin.
You really don't see the problem, do you? We have a big one. I thought we'd better go see a counselor because our marriage is in trouble.
I have to think about my kids. I had them with Kevin, so regardless of the bad blood that's been between us, I need to put them first.
I was furious when my wife told me this. It made me realize that it wasn't important in my life, since she'd never had the courtesy to talk to me about the vacation and she'd hid it from me. I gave her an ultimatum. Cancel the trip, or we're done.
You're being unreasonable. How would you feel if your ex-wife asked you to do something for your kids, and you couldn't do it because I wouldn't let you?
I tried to keep myself under control, but it felt nearly impossible. I never would have gone behind Amy's back to go on a trip with Teresa, regardless of how much I love my children. I ended up moving out of the house and asking Amy for a legal separation. She didn't want to get counseling, and we felt stuck. Eventually, we got divorced over irreconcilable differences. I've learned something from this experience. When you're taking on a new partner and they have children before too, there should be a lot of discussion taking place before you decide to marry them and think that this time it's going to work. I had thought a second marriage would make me smarter about relationships, but I still have a lot to learn. Hopefully someday the third time will be the charm.